Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. I missed last night. This time of year is absolutely so busy, and I'm sure it is for you, getting all your last minute things for your parties, your kids, getting everything ready that you need to get ready. And this part of the year can be super exciting for kids, but super stressful for parents. So I just kind of wanted to end the year with doing a live about how grateful I am for what this year has brought us. I would have to say it's been a pretty difficult year, and we've had some pretty hard years that we've gone through, but this one has been incredibly, amazingly different than any other year that we have experienced. Starting in November 2017 of last year until now, our little girl was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease that about took her life as a 5-year-old. And that completely flipped our lives upside down. We had no idea what the year was going to bring us. We had no idea what type of health or help we would be getting. And so we were kind of terrified what the year was going to bring us. We didn't know if we'd have to refinance because the expensive bills that were coming in from having to go to Primary Children's Hospital almost on a weekly basis, as well as all the other doctor's appointments. So as you can see, that kind of started out 2018 super, super rough. It felt like jail for her and I in the house, where we couldn't go anywhere because if she caught anything, we would lose her right away. And so any flu or cold would actually zap everything that we had left of her. So it was super excruciating. Christmas was super hard. We had to just watch everybody else having fun through the windows of our home. We had to become super creative with the type of activities that we did that were the unusual of what we were used to. We're used to being able to go to Temple Square and be able to look at the lights and be able to go to restaurants and all those different things that at that time I felt like was robbed from us, and robbed mainly from our little girl, because who wants to take those fun things away from a 5-year-old? But we learned so many incredible things. Our son, the year before that, and just kind of tapping into this year, our 9-year-old son, he was suicidal and was having lots and lots and lots of emotional and mental problems. And we had lots of doctor's appointments that we were going to for mental health, and saw all different types of doctors that just kind of bounced us around from doctor to doctor to doctor, only to have waited for 6 months for the specialty doctor, only to be told that we just needed to hospitalize him. And as a mom, that feeling that you get as a parent, that's just, when something's right and when something's wrong. And I felt like that was wrong. So that was another super, super tough thing that we had to deal with this year, is trying to figure out what to do to help him, as well as trying to figure out how are we going to pay all these bills off? How are we going to be able to make it to this year of Christmas and be able to pay things off? Now for us, my husband is the breadwinner, has always been for the 14 years that we've been married, and we've relied on his income. We usually wait until the end of the year when he gets his bonus to be able to buy Christmas. Well, sometimes we have no idea when that bonus is going to come in. And so we would end up putting things on a credit card. And as you know, interest and all those things end up adding up. So we've always kind of lived paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not saying that my husband hasn't done a good job, because he works really, really hard. But life gets super, super expensive, and only gets more expensive as time goes on. And so we were super frustrated. We're like, how are we going to get out of this rut? Well, we're able to go on little trips here and there in our marriage. And if we ever did go to Disneyland or something like that, it was always used on a credit card, because growing up, my husband never got that opportunity to be able to go on trips and things like that. And so he's like, we're going to make sure that that's something fun that we get to do. Well, this year, as of the end of January, something was introduced to us by a person I knew nothing about. I didn't know this person from Adam. And we'd become friends on Facebook. She had friended me months before. We just kind of chatted here and there. And she, bless her heart, decided to share some of her supplements that she had. Now, keep in mind that the thing for me is I'm a very skeptical person. If somebody's trying to be friends with me just so that they can make a buck, I do not like that type of people. If somebody can't be real and true and be there for us and be fake, I tend to stray away from those type of people. So we've been the type of people that have just kind of completely pulled ourselves away. We wouldn't really talk to people that much. It probably gave a really different type of atmosphere and outlook for other people getting to know us. And so it makes it really hard for people who want to serve us. But this year has been absolutely amazing with service. We learn that our neighbors and the people that we go to church with are super giving and super loving, to not judge people just by an appearance or a certain look that they might give you that day. We've learned that our family has truly cares about us, and the service and love that they put into helping us. Even simple things as watching Brinlin so I could go Christmas shopping last year and not have the kids know what I was going to get them, to our neighbor next door watching Brinlin so that I could take my sick husband to the doctors. I mean, these types of acts of service have taught me so much, especially during the time that our little girl was sick. Has made me this year, now that she's well and is thriving and doing really good, has made me want to try even harder to serve those that are struggling out there. Although we do that, each year anyways, I've wanted to hit it tenfold. Any little extra money that we have, wanted to be able to give it to those who are really struggling. Now, I've also learned that it's not about money the way that we necessarily serve. That sometimes just going over and talking to somebody, those times where I had no adult interaction during the time Brinlin was sick, I had people coming over just to sit there and talk with me and give me that adult interaction, which was so touching and special for me, because being in a house where you have not left for 4.5 months is miserable and feels like prison. To be able to come to the hospital, and people came to the hospital and sent cute little stuffed animals and blankets for Brinlin when she was always having to stay there, and coming just to sit there and visit us and make her laugh and dance in front of her. These types of things, I've learned so much this year of acts of service, of learning not to judge, because there are people that you never even imagined paid attention to you, cared about what you were going through, what you needed, and gave everything that they could. We had people bringing in dinners that didn't even know us very well, that would leave it on the porch because they knew that they couldn't come in, because if it was possible they were sick, Brinlin could catch it. We've had a rough year with some decisions that I'm not really open to be able to talk about. I so wish I could. But we've had some really hard decisions that we had to make, to having to eliminate some things in our lives that has caused confusion and heartache and anger. And my husband and I had to start going to counseling so that we could be able to learn how to interact as husband and wife, to be able to learn how to communicate. And so this year has brought the most amazing memories with my husband and I. We have been through heck and back in eight months of counseling this year, where both of us have had to undergo trauma therapy for the traumatic past that we've had in our childhood, teenagehood, and adulthood, to where it has completely transformed our marriage. It has completely transformed our family and our kids and us individually. My husband has turned into a completely different person, where I finally, after 14 years, get to see someone who's not scared and reserved and angry and upset and is able to open himself completely to loving me with all that he has. I've been able to see me as not a little girl, thinking as a little girl anymore, but being able to actually be an adult For somebody who's been abused for a long time, they think a lot as a little girl, especially when those traumatic events happen at that time. And I've been actually able to be a mom. I know that's crazy, guys. It's not that I ever abandoned my kids and never gave them anything, but I can give them things that I've wanted to give them my whole entire life. And no, that's not extra toys. It's not spending extra money on them. It's being able to actually hug them and feel happiness, feel joy and happiness once in my whole entire lifetime of 32 years. What miracles is this that it has happened to us in just the year of 2018, and we're not yet completely done with the year of 2018. I've been able to see things in my siblings that I haven't been able to see in all the years that they've been my siblings, and their tender, loving care, just because my brain has been mixed with so many traumatic events that now that we're starting to clear them out, I can actually see that love that they've had for me and that they have for my husband, and how they've taken him in under their wing and have shown him love and acceptance. You guys, these things were huge and are huge for my family that we have experienced. My kids are so much happier. We've been able to help my family with these natural supplements that we've been introduced to. And I never in my mind thought that I would be coming on being grateful for something that I thought were so silly and stupid when people would post about it. I never thought that I would be doing my own very own business and to be able to make enough to be able to pay my house payment, to be able to pay doctor bills off, to be able to go to Florida 2 times this year, to be able to win a trip to the Bahamas and Key West, to be able to pay for Disneyland because of my business, to be able to help pay for our counseling appointments, which, as you know, can be super expensive, to be able to learn more talents and to become more successful and to gain confidence. For the first time in my whole entire life, I can actually see my beauty within and my beauty on the outside, and see people's true worth. To be able to have freedom from being sick all the time doesn't mean that we're cured and we're healed and everything's great and we'll never be sick again. But to finally have 1 year where we're not going to the doctors constantly. It's going to be a little bit worrisome when tax season comes, because I'm going to hardly have anything to claim with health taxes. But I am so super grateful for it, because we were spending so much in medicines and gas and wear and tear and co-pays and deductibles and all these different things that cost us so much. And now we hardly have any of that. We haven't even had to go to the doctors for sickness this year. But to be able to know that I have a company that I can rely on, that I get to choose my time and the place and wherever and whenever what I want to do, is, I feel like I'm kind of living a dream. But as you can see, and to keep this short for you guys, as you can see, we've had trials, we've had hard times, but the most important thing is we learn things through those trials and those hard times. And I can openly be able to say at the end of, as the year is ending, that as though I would not want to go through those things again, that I'm grateful for the things that we've gone through, because it's gotten us to where we are, a stronger family, a much stronger marriage, where I am so much more in love with my husband than even when we were dating. And you never could imagine that could happen after 14 years, but it's possible. So I wish you guys the very best of holidays, and that you guys can see the great things that have happened to you rather than focusing on all of the bad and the hard, because life is going to continue getting harder and more difficult. But it's about what you learn. It's about what you do. It's about the responses and the things that you learn in life to make better choices, to make different choices, and to be able to come out at the end being able to say that you made it, and that you know that you're doing a good job and that you can do even better. So I wish you a Merry Christmas. And a happy new year, and these resolutions that we all make, that we come up with, make them priorities, not just goals, but make them priorities, where it's with health or being able to become more financially stable or to make your relationship stronger and better and happier. I wish you all the very best, and I love you all, and thank you so much for supporting me and everything that you guys have. See you.